Okay, I have a question that's kind of about region and location of an artist. I think everybody, for years we've kind of accepted that there are maybe three primary centers of the music industry: New York, LA, and Nashville in certain respects. And then at different times there have certainly been other areas that have made a very significant kind of regional, rise and impact. Minneapolis has been one of them. Seattle has been another. And I tend to include Austin, Texas, as places where there's been extremely vibrant music that's really made a splash. And that region kind of rises and then maybe goes back in the background. So my question, though, is today, with everything so different in the industry, Craig, I like what you said, big companies are the dinosaurs and they know it. With YouTube, MySpace, blogs, Facebook, all this other stuff, do regions, are the days of New York, LA, Nashville being the center of so much activity numbered? Is it potential that regions rise again? Or does that concept not really even have any meaning anymore, and it's down to real entrepreneurialism in people's basements? And that's, I think there's a question in here. Is that making sense to anyone? It's something I wonder about.
Well, I'll just start. I think that there will always be New York and LA. Unfortunately, they are the mark. Well, I say unfortunately because coffee's $10 in New York, but they're the marketplace for this business. So they will be there because they're going to be there because they know that what they do is mostly marketing, promoting, setting up business deals, and the majority are entertainment attorneys. But I think what's happening in Minneapolis, the Austins, the Chicagos, even Nashville, which is becoming more of a business town probably than it used to be, is changing because you can be anywhere. The power has been given over to the people and not necessarily the corporations. I think the days of Minnesota as sort of a musical center will still be there because there's a concentration and there's an understanding about how the business works. This school is a perfect example. Everybody in this room is here and everybody in this room will understand how the business works, so this will become a center of music. Now, will there be this musician on the size of Prince coming out of here again? I don't know if that'll ever happen again unless the person comes out of here, but it won't need to be there anymore. A&R people are not going to fly in here like they used to do. Every week, for the people who were here, Steve knows this and Sue knows it. There was a time when A&R people kept this, they kept the hotels busy here just looking for bands. It was like they were on a safari. They don't have to do that anymore. So that is kind of gone. But there's going to be the energy of the group of people that are actually concentrated, that actually put things together. That's where that's where the centers are going to be now.
Are there any other questions? We're going to have to wrap this up.
Perhaps to address this a bit, because we're talking about a lot of this has to deal with where things have been to where they're going. And technology is a huge, that's the big front, the front of the snowplow, whatever, blazing the trail. But people still like to have a tangible product. And I know the Electric Fetus has been valuable over the years for local artists to have their CDs brought in for consignment. If you have a cousin visiting Minneapolis, they can go to the record store and see you in the rack, which is cool, because that's the tangible part. And even though technology is huge, people still want that thing. So would you talk about how it's possible for artists to have their CDs sold at your store, which I have been for many, many, many years there?
Well, not to give a history lesson here, but I think when radio saw TV coming out, or actually before that, when newspapers saw the radio, that was the end of them. It was same with TV as the end of radio. The fact that people, when you're reading a newspaper and you're just looking at the one, let me back up. When you're on the computer and you're looking at the newspaper print, you're specifically going to one category, and that's all you're seeing. When you're reading the full cover newspaper, you got these peripheral subjects around there that kind of pique your interest. I quit a record store. I might be the only one, but if you're in a physical goods place and you're looking, and you go to the blues section, or you got to walk by the rock section, you got to go by jazz, you're picking through whatever. Somebody mentioned the Eagles, of which we would have all the back catalog, and who was it, they had an exclusive with Walmart? You know, that's the newest product that, quite frankly, it isn't that good. I mean, they're not what they used to be. So they've gone to guaranteed money because they know the marketplace isn't gonna support them like they used to. But I think the physical goods are always gonna be important, and we're gonna always connect to people that way, and also in a few months we'll be downloading our own site, because we want to connect to all music people. Is that too long of an explanation?
There's in the big labels, Craig, you were talking about how they're sort of dinosaurs. There's been a big movement in the big labels to sign bands to 360-degree deals where they get a piece of the marketing, the t-shirts, like everything. I think Korn's an example of this. Do you see, and this is a question for anyone really, do you see this practice continuing at a smaller level with smaller record labels and with smaller, with labels with less capital? Are they going to be moving towards taking a chunk out of everything in order to protect themselves, or is it going, which direction is that going in?
I think that, yeah, I think that this is a business that we're in. It happens to use art as its product, but in order for a company to provide this new economy, our record company is going to need to take a percentage of everything because you're in a partnership. The record company should help promote and push forward your product line, but you need to take care of your record company. I know that kind of goes against it, but Andre knows this too, is that artists so often in the old model never took care of the record company, which is a mistake. The record company's there to help you. They want to make money, you want to make money. If you help them, you'll get more. If you don't help them, then you get less.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, at the end of the day, it's a partnership. When you sign on that label, you're developing a partnership. You know, you're in charge of producing the product, and they're in charge of getting the product sold. You know, one isn't going to work without the other. So I agree with Craig. You know, it is the way it's going to be. But you know, you guys have a huge opportunity here because the industry is in this amorphous state right now. You can develop those new ways and come up with those new ideas to maximize the market and maximize sales. It's a great time for you, really.
That makes me smile, and that's a good note to end on. It's that we must declare, not aspire, that you are the next thing. The next generation of hit makers, of engineers, of singers, of performers is sitting in this room. I appreciate everyone coming today. Thank you for our illustrious president, Mr. Shalmirs. And watch out for the next seminar. We'll have another interesting for you.